Item this afternoon, and welcome to our Cabinet on the 29th of October, is the appointment of Chairperson. I'm Councillor Steve Hunt, Leader of Neath Talbot Council, and I'll be chairing today's meeting of Cabinet. Chair's announcements. Firstly, I would like the members and officers present in the room to briefly introduce themselves so that those viewing and participating via Teams are aware of who they are and who are physically present in the meeting this afternoon. So I'll go to my left and we'll go around that way, and please introduce yourselves. Thank you.
Democratic Services Officer. Tommy Davis, Democratic Services Officer.
Rwy'n Daniel, Cyfarwyddwr Strategaeth a Gwasanaethau Corfforaethol, Director of Strategy and Corporate Services.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mike Shaw. I'm the advisor to the Cabinet.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nicola Pearce and I'm the Director of Environment and Regeneration.
Afternoon, Neath Jenkins, Cabinet Member for Education and Early Years.
Good afternoon, everyone. Andrew Jarrett, I'm the Director of Social Services, Housing, Community Strategy.
Good afternoon, James Davis, Head of Engineering and Transport.
And Hugh Jones, Director of Finance.
Councillor Simon Noyle, Cabinet Member for Finance, Performance and Social Justice.
Rob Davis, Principal Officer, Housing.
Shelley Howard, Head of Housing and Communities.
Andrew Thomas, Director of Education, Leisure, Lifelong Learning.
Emma Crowhurst, Head of Education Support Services, Transformation, Employability and Skills.
Councillor Wyndham Griffiths, Cabinet Member for Transport, Connectivity and Highways.
Sian Harris, Cabinet Member for Children and Family Services.
Alan Llewellyn, Deputy Leader.
Now, Councillor Jeremy Hurley, Cabinet Member covering climate change and economic regeneration.
Good afternoon, Francis O'Brien, Chief Executive.
Good afternoon again, Councillor Steve Hunt, Leader of the Community and Strategic Leadership Portfolio Holder. Thank you, everyone. So can I just welcome members of the public and or press that are viewing this meeting today. Please ensure that your microphones are switched off. You are here to observe the meeting only. Members and officers, please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting and that your microphones are switched to mute unless you are speaking. In addition, when asked to raise your hand, if members who are virtually attending this meeting could raise your electronic hands, or members physically present, just raise your hands here in the room. Officers, please ensure to verbally add any additional comments from scrutiny committees if this has not already been included within your reports. We are not due to have a fire drill this afternoon, so should the fire alarm sound during the meeting, please make your way to the nearest exit. Moving on to agenda item 3, declarations of interest. Can I ask members if they have any declarations of interest to make? And please would members say what the items are and what the interest is. And if you have an interest, you will need to complete the declaration of interest form found on the members hub of the intranet, and Tammy or Nadine will forward you the link. Please speak to Democratic Services if you have any queries to this declaration of interest. So can I see if there's any? Oh, Councillor Jeremy Early, please.
Yeah, it's item 15, easement report, and then item 18, appendix 3 for easement report, and being a local member and opposed to the development.
Thank you, Jeremy. Officers have taken that declarations. Any further declarations? No, I don't see it.
Leader, I'm aware that Councillor Noyle has popped out of the room just for a moment, so perhaps that point may be clarified with him. Perhaps when he comes back, he can be asked that. It shouldn't hold up your business, though, sir.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that, Mike, to clarify that. Okay, then. I move on to agenda item 4, which are the minutes of our previous meeting. The minutes of the meeting of Cabinet on the 1st of October 2025 are on pages 5 to 12 of your agenda pack. They are before you this afternoon for accuracy. Members got any comments on the accuracies of these minutes? No? So I'm happy to propose that they are to record. Can I have a second there, please?
I'll hear you look at it, please.
Thank you, Alan. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are content with the accuracy of those minutes.
no indication to the council leader and confirm that the minutes of the 1st of October have been approved.
Thank you, Nadine. Before moving on to agenda item 5, I just checked that Councillor Noyle has indicated he has no declarations of interest to make. So agenda item 5, oh sorry Noyle, when?
I'll be the meeting for the item on Celtic report.
Right, is that the declaration of interest? Yeah. Can you note that as well? Thank you. Okay, agenda item 5 is the Forward Work Programme 25-26. This Forward Work Programme is on pages 13 to 18 in this year for noting. Moving on to agenda item 6, which is public question time. I received no notifications from the public to speak at today's meeting. Agenda item 7 is the WESP Annual Progress Report, which is the Welsh in Education Strategic Plan. This report is on pages 19 to 158 and is here for monitoring. However, I'm going to hand over now to Rhiannon Crowhurst, who will introduce this report. Over to you, Rhiannon, please. Thank you.
So the Neath Talbot West, as members will know, details the plans to support and further develop Welsh language in schools and in the wider communities. The plan details how further developments will be secured over the next 10 years, from January 2022 to January 2032. This report details the progress made in the 3rd year of implementing the plan and the targets for the next 5 years. All the details are in the report, Leader.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Members, any questions on this report? Councillor Jenkins, please.
Thank you, Leader. Just to say, really, this has gone through scrutiny, and scrutiny were in agreement that there's a lot of work gone into this, and there is shown real commitment in promoting the Welsh language in education. One of Rhiannon's colleagues did mention about how we're doing further research on implementing why parents choose Welsh language education and to promote it within the Welsh language schools where we work with Menter Iaith, Charter Iaith. We have a Criw Cymraeg in the schools there. And we've been utilising the grant from the Welsh Government in the Amman Valley and Cwm Tawe area, where they're identified as areas of linguistic sensitivity. And I believe we are seeing an increase in parents choosing to go to Welsh language education now in our younger pupils joining school. So just to add my thanks as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nia. Any other member? Don't see any. Okay, this report is for monitoring this afternoon, so we will note its contents. Agenda item 8 is the Strategic School Improvement Programme, reorganisation of ALN provision, and this is for permission to consult. The report is on pages 159 to 194 and is here for a decision this afternoon. So I'll go back to Rhiannon now, who would introduce this report. Thank you, Rhiannon.
Yes, this report is asking members for permission to consult on ALN reorganisation across Neath Talbot County Borough. As you'll have heard me say last time, this is the first in a series of 3 reports, if you give us permission to consult today. This report is covering 4 different schools projects. The first is to change the language medium of the YGG Trebanus Cognition and Learning Support Centre from English medium to Welsh medium. It's to establish a 16-place cognition and learning LSE for pupils aged 11 to 16. So this will be Welsh medium at Ysgol Gymraeg Yslyfer Brody in the Yslyfer campus. It's to increase the number of pupils places at Ysgol Maes y Coed by an additional 40 places with effect from April 2028, and to change the current pupil inclusion centre in Welham Primary to a permanent place primary behavioural, emotional and social needs LSE with effect from September 2026. All the detail is in the report, and we're asking for permission to consult starting, I believe, on the 7th of November.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Can I go to members for any questions? Councillor Jenkins, please.
Thank you again, Leader. Just to add, really, these recommendations, I fully support them there. We've got increasing numbers of pupils with complexity of their additional learning needs. behaviour, emotional and social needs there. And again, this fits in very well with our previous item with the Welsh language provision, providing additional learning needs in the pupil schools through the medium of Welsh would seem the sensible thing to do. And as we know, Mysacoed is an excellent school and we are desperately in need of additional spaces there. So I would urge members to consider this and I hope you can support it.
Yeah. Any further questions from members? No, I don't see any. I now refer members to the recommendations which are on page 160 of our agenda pack. I'm happy to propose for the reasons Councillor Jenkins has given. What a wonderful provision. Can I have a seconder, please?
Okay, we'll go.
Thank you, Alan. Can I ask if there are any abstentions? I don't see any from members. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are now in favour of this recommendation.
See no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendations being approved.
Thank you, Nadine. Moving on to agenda item 9, which is the Neath Talbot Council and Third Sector Compact. This report is on pages 195 to 214 of your papers and is here for a decision. Can I ask Noelwyn now to introduce this report, please?
Diolch, Rhys. The compact is a partnership agreement between Neath Talbot Council and the third sector of Neath Talbot that supports relationships and provides a framework within which sectors can understand what to expect from each other, enhancing their collective contribution towards local communities. Compact provides a framework for enhanced partnership working by setting out a shared vision and set of principles that underpin the relationship between the council and the third sector, and mutually agreed objectives that underpin how we will work together. It was last reviewed in 2016, and it has been collaborated upon with the third sector to put this in front of you today, members. Yeah.
Thank you, Noelwyn. Can I ask members if they have any questions or comments to make on this agenda item? Councillor Llewellyn, please.
Yeah, yes, I think that it's very important that we are able to continue to strengthen our relationship with voluntary organisations. We know the contribution that the third sector makes to many walks of life in the county borough, and it's very important that we have a strong partnership. I think we know that there have been a large number of discussions over the period of time to redevelop this compact and to ensure that it's a very robust framework for ensuring that we have a good and respectful relationship with the third sector. So I think it gives a good basis for work in carrying on with work in the future.
Thank you, Alan. And just from me as well, I know how much work Noelwyn and his team, so take that back to your team, and the importance of partnership. As Councillor Llewellyn outlined there, it really is important that we understand each other so that we deliver what we do together. So thank you for that work on this report this afternoon. Any other comments from members? I don't see any. So I now refer members to the recommendations which are on pages 196 of your agenda pack. I'm happy to propose this agenda item. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Alan. Any abstentions from members? Again, I don't see any. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're now in favour of these recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendations.
Thank you very much. Nadine, moving on to agenda item 10, which is the corporate self-assessment 24-25. The report is on pages 215, 256 and is here for a decision. And I'll ask Noelwyn again now to introduce this report, please.
Diolch, Cadeirydd. So the annual corporate self-assessment is a statutory requirement for all local authorities in Wales mandated by the Local Government and Elections Act. It covers 3 key areas: exercising our functions effectively, how well are we using our resources economically, efficiently and effectively, and ensure our governance is effective in securing the above. The final score for each activity is on page 10 of Appendix 1 of the Corporate Self-Assessment for 24-25, along with an overall score for the Council remaining at mature, moving into leading. As part of the Act, We require some feedback from Governance and Audit Committee, who looked at this on September 9th, and there were no recommendations made from Governance and Audit Committee. Diolch.
Thank you, Noelwyn. May I ask members if they have any comments or questions for Noelwyn? Don't see any. I just wanted to say that the 24-25 corporate self-assessment provides an honest and transparent statutory evaluation of our performance, governance, and the use of our resources, whilst recognising the need for further cultural and operational improvements. As a council, we are committed to continuous improvements with a focus on embedding learning, strengthening performance management, and ensuring effective governance to support long-term sustainability and better outcomes for residents across all our communities. So I would like to thank those officers once more who have contributed to the corporate self-assessment and support the improvements needed to drive forward in becoming a leading council here in Neath Talbot Council. Thank you very much. So if I take members now to the recommendations, which are on pages 216 of your agenda pack, I'm happy to propose this agenda item. Can I have a seconder, please?
Okay, look at it. Second.
Thank you, Alan. Are there any abstentions from members? I don't see any. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendation.
See no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendation's been approved.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 11, which is the Corporate Plan 24-2027, working towards a more prosperous, fairer and greener MPT annual report for 24-25. The report is on pages 257 to 394 of your agenda packs and is here for a decision. I will go back to Noelwyn now to introduce this report, please. Thank you.
Yes, Cadeirydd. So the Corporate Plan Annual Report meets our statutory requirements as set out in the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. The annual report serves as a vital tool for transparency, both enhancing and promoting accountability. By publishing an account of our progress made in delivering our priorities enables residents, partners and other stakeholders to understand how we are using our resources, demonstrating value for money and the difference we are making. It articulates a balanced view of our performance and the incredible amount of work undertaken by officers across the authority to deliver our strategic priorities and improve the lives of the residents of Neath Talbot Council. Diolch, Cadeirydd.
Thank you, Noelwyn. May I ask members if there are any questions or comments on the corporate plan? I don't see any. Can I just say myself, it's a massive piece of work. The Corporate Annual Report 24-27 reaffirms the Council's commitment to a more prosperous, fairer and greener MPT. And again, it's structured around our 4 wellbeing objectives and enabling the programmes. Just want to again put on record this work is a moving work. It will change as decisions are made by Welsh Government, but we need to keep on top of it. We've got the right people, the right officers in place to do that. So I'm grateful for the work again, as progress has been made, as outlined, and I would urge all members and members of the public to read that report in detail. It's quite a large document, but it is an important report for this authority. So thank you again for your efforts to keeping us on track with a corporate plan that's fit for purpose as we move forward. So thank you, Noelwyn and the team. So as I said, members, no more questions. So I now refer members to the recommendation which is on page 258 of your agenda pack. I'm happy to propose this agenda item. Can I have a seconder, please?
Oh, sorry, to second that.
Thank you, Alan. Any abstentions from members? Again, I don't see any. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
See no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendation's been approved.
Diolch, Nadine. Agenda item 12 is the Corporate Compliments and Complaints Annual Reports for 24-25. The report is on pages 395 to 414 and is here for monitoring. So I'll go back to Noelwyn now to introduce this report, please. Thank you.
Diolch, Cadeirydd. So yes, this is the Compliments and Complaints Annual Report 2024-2025 and provides Cabinet with an overview of the number of compliments and complaints received during that period. Compliments and complaints are a valuable source of information on how we perform as a council and provides us with an insight into what customers think about our services. The report evidences a notable increase in both compliments and complaints received, underlining a positive shift towards greater transparency, improved recording and a culture of accountability.
Thank you, Noelwyn. Members, any questions for Noelwyn on this report? I don't see any. This report is here for monitoring this afternoon, so we will note the contents. Agenda item 13 is the 20 miles per hour review update. The report is on pages 415 to 422 and is here for information this afternoon. I now go over to James to introduce this report, please. James.
Thank you, Leader. So Welsh Government implemented a 20 mile per hour default speed limit across Wales on the 17th of September 2023. During 2024, public feedback was obtained by Welsh Government, and on the 16th of July 2024, new guidance was published for setting speed limits, along with an assessment sheet for officers to utilise in order to review those routes. A report was brought before Cabinet on the 13th of November 2024, seeking authority to undertake individual assessments of routes requested by members and residents. This report outlines the findings of that exercise. In summary, based on the existing guidance, officers cannot make any recommendations to revert routes from 20 miles per hour back to 30 miles per hour at present. However, members should note that further reviews will be undertaken in the new year, when it is anticipated the Welsh Government will publish new guidance titled Setting Local Speed Limits in Wales. Officers have worked closely with Welsh Government consultants in developing this new guidance, and it is believed that the guidance will provide the opportunity to local authorities to have more autonomy to ensure fluidity across the network.
Thank you very much, James. Members, any questions on this report? Councillor Wyndham Griffiths.
It's not a question. I'd just like to thank the team, the transport team, for all their hard work, and I'm sure they'll get it all together now in the new year when the new laws come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Wyndham. Don't see anybody else. Just from me then, James, I want to put on record as well how hard the officers in this authority has worked. We know both Cabinet Secretaries for Transport have admitted to getting the implementation of this wrong. It probably cost the taxpayer an awful lot of money in the process in doing this. But at the end of the day, we just got to get it right. We know that 20 miles an hour are important for the figures that are out, the stats and the data is showing a decrease in serious accidents, but certainly the implementation of it left a lot to be desired. So we welcome this report with new guidance coming in the new year. But again, it's work for you and your team. So it's important that members also work closely with you. So I appreciate that, and thank you very much for bringing this report to us this afternoon. As said, this report is for information, so we will note its contents. Moving on to agenda item 14, which is the future of the proposed Neath Integrated Transport Hub. The report is on pages 423 to 532 of your papers and is here for a decision. So I'm going to go back to James now to introduce this report, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. So, as you're aware, this council went out for public consultation on the preferred solution for an integrated transport hub in Neath Town Centre during May and June of this year. The decision is now required to determine the future of the scheme following significant public response to the current proposals and recent changes to transport policy and funding arrangements. I don't intend to read out the recommendation in full. However, in summary, it is recommended that officers reassess the scope and design of the scheme with the primary aim of addressing the concerns and issues raised during the consultation, further exploring opportunities for collaboration with key partners, and redeveloping the scheme in the context of a wider Neath Town Centre master plan. The Culture Connection and Peer Scrutiny Committee requested that the wording explaining how officers would give the recommendation, originally only included in section 3 of the report, be incorporated into the recommendation at the start of the report. Therefore, the recommendation now includes that wording as suggested by the Scrutiny Committee. The committee also expressed their intention to participate in ongoing proposals and to engage with officers regarding options for regeneration and transport in Neath.
Thank you, James. Okay, members, any questions on this agenda item, please? I'll go online first to Councillor Ken Phillips, and then I'll come into the room. Ken, please.
Thank you, Leader. Can it just be confirmed for me, please, that choosing option 3 would mean that this...
Ken, stop a minute. You're not coming through with sound. Is your volume up on your right? I'm not sure if you're using a laptop or iPad.
I should be coming through with sound.
No, it's still no sound.
Fine at home.
Wait a minute.
Sound for online.
Yes, maybe on our screen. Hang on, it might be on our screen, Ken. But we haven't gone online yet to test it.
You're perfect for us, Ken.
Yeah, you can all hear him online, but not in the room. So it might be us at our room, it is. There we are. It was down non-zero. Tommy is now turning it up, Ken.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
We're getting there now. Yeah.
It's not on that one.
Okay, try now.
Can you hear me now, Leader?
Tommy, it's on the box itself. There's a volume on there and it's down. I've done it before.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna do, Leader. It's not doing anything. Anyone any experience with this? Because no
volume on there.
No.
Not connected to the speakers, maybe.
One. Oh, that's long. Oh, is it? Yeah. Right, let's fill that up.
Yeah.
3490 with them.
Seconds. You getting there?
Yeah.
A bit of tea.
Yeah. Just see that. They can.
You're right, Leader. It's just
Right, okay. Try again, Ken.
Can you hear me now?
Right. What I suggest, I know it's a bit typing for you. Could you put the question in the chat and I'll have the Democratic officer to read it out. And while you're doing that, I'll go to other questions from members, if that's okay. We are still trying to fix it, but there's still nothing coming out for us in the room, unfortunately. Okay. Councillor Jenkins, did you want to ask your question while we wait for Ken?
It's just come through.
Was question already there? Well, that was quick. Okay.
Would you like me to read that out?
Yeah, wait a minute then. Well, I need them to sit back down. And
Sorry, Leader.
Oh, you're all right. Yeah, oh, you're okay. That's fine.
The audio settings on it, but it won't pick up the speakers.
Oh, there we are. IT will have to sort that out. Okay then. Ken has put this question in the chat and Tommy's going to read it out to officers.
Okay, Leader, can it be confirmed for me, please, that choosing option 3 would mean that this scheme is not going to be progressed in its current form and we can draw a line under the existing proposal and move forward to develop a new plan?
Okay, James, would you like to come back on that question, please?
Okay, thanks, Councillor Phillips. Yes, in short, the recommendation from officers is to take on board the comments received from the public consultation and to reflect and reassess the potential options and opportunities. So the current version of the scheme will not be progressing any further. Welsh Government are asking local authorities to be more ambitious when designing transport schemes, and as such it is suggested that Neath Town Centre master plan is developed. This will not only seek to improve the use of active travel and public transport, but we'll also focus on improving the sense of place, vitality and viability of the wider town centre. The area around the train station does still need investment, of course, and some of the technical information we have secured to date could potentially inform any future investment plans in that area. We don't want to prejudge the outcome of that reassessment process, and any future scheme might even include some elements similar to those in the current proposal, but that the existing proposed scheme itself will not be moving forward in this current form, and we will be starting a process to develop an alternative plan based on the wider vision for Neath Town Centre.
Thanks, James. Ken, did you want to come back or are you satisfied with that reply? Thank you. Any further questions from members before I go to Club? I was going to come to you at the end with those questions in case you need to answer some, but I don't see any other, councillors. Oh, Leah, I thought you wanted to, no, you're okay now. Alan, Councillor Llewellyn, do you want to?
Yes, thanks very much. It's as much of an observation as a question, because I think we are all very aware that this has been a very complex and long process. As a relatively new council coalition and cabinet, we inherited the interchange project from the previous administration, and it was very important for us to take the outline plans to public consultation. And that was a comprehensive consultation process. And as we see in the report before us today, there was a very high level of participation and many comments and questions. So I feel it's important that we listen to the views of the public, the stakeholders and the members who have taken part in the consultation. And that approach is reflected in the report and recommendations that we have before us today, Chair.
Thank you, Alan. Wyndham, I'll come to you now then.
Thank you, Chair. It's just that Alan's taken most of my thunder, I'm afraid. He always does it, doesn't he? So, yeah, I'd like to thank the officers again, the team, for all the hard work they put in this over 6 or 7 years now. Different officers and have been given different inputs, but they've all been given lost a word. Anyway, they've all been given good information, but when we went out to public consultation, the public said no. So we have looked at it, reassessed it, and as James has said, it will be comprehensively looked at. But I would like just to put it on record that the public said no, and as a body, the administration, we have taken notice of that. So I'd like to say we are a listening council. Thank you.
Thank you, Wyndham. Any further comments from cabinet colleagues? And then just for me, then just James, sum up a little bit. Certainly endorse the points everyone has made. I think it's important the work you've done. This has to be done in partnership. It has to bring the people, the businesses, the general public. I just want to make it clear that a transport hub, a right transport hub that regenerates the town of Neath for all the right reasons is a good project, but it has to be done with those that it affects in the round to deliver what we are all like to see. The work now will start once more, making sure that the report in its content has already outlined that a lot that's in there wouldn't be replicated and cost this authority further funding or financial payments to it. So I just wanted to mention that as well. It's got to be done. There's no wastage of money. It's getting it right so it delivers, as I said, for everyone. So thank you for your work. Take that back to your team and thank members for their questions. I don't see any further questions or comments. So I now refer members to the recommendations on page 426 and 427 of your agenda pack. I'm happy to propose this recommendation. Can I have a seconder, please?
Okay, could I get pleased to second?
Thank you, Alan. Any abstentions? Again, I don't see any. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendations being approved.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Moving on to agenda item 15, I will now have Councillor Hurley to leave the room.
Leader, we've had a message in the chat.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, we are having those sound problems. Councillor Tim Bowen would like to declare prejudicial interest on this item as ward member and has been against the development.
Yeah.
He is leaving the meeting now.
Yeah, just checking with Mike anyway. He's not part of the meeting, he's an observer. So is that still prudent for him to do that?
Nevertheless, it would be appropriate for him to declare that interest and withdraw in respect to this particular item. So
oh, there we are. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for that clarity. I don't know if you want me to pause a second. Just
This is IT. Yeah.
Just check.
If you want to carry on.
Is it okay? There we are. Okay, everyone online. There's an IT gentleman in the room and he's trying to fix the sound issues we're experiencing. But I'm going to continue because you can hear us anyway. So agenda item 15 is our easement report. Members and officers, can I please note, should you wish to discuss or ask any questions related to Appendix 3, we will need to consider going into private session to exclude the public and press. So I don't want to make members aware of that because we do have a private session later on in the report. So this report is on pages 533 to 558 and is here for a decision this afternoon. So I now hand over to Nicola Pierce to introduce this report, please.
Thank you, Leader. This report seeks approval from the Council to enter into an option agreement and grant easements in perpetuity to facilitate the development of the Neath wind farm. The wind farm itself is classed as a development of national significance, so we do not as an authority have responsibility for the planning regulations. So we have not been involved in the determination of that planning application, albeit only in terms of providing a local impact report. The council has, however, been approached to secure an option agreement to enable easements on council-owned land. Now, as part of the determination process, we have sought legal advice on this, and the legal advice confirms that we cannot refuse the grant of easements on the grounds that have been originally raised in the community. And if we do so, we could face judicial review. And what I would also say, Leader and members, is that if we fail to grant the easements that are sought as part of this proposal, it would not prevent the development from going ahead. It would, however, cause disruption within the local community in terms of transport movements, which I know has been a cause for concern for residents within the community. So what our advice to members is that we grant the easements, and the financial information associated with them are contained within Appendix 3. And as you quite rightly indicated, if members want to discuss any of those issues, we would have to go into private session. Thank you, Leader.
No, thank you, Nicola. Let's just see if there are any questions from member on the general report or any questions on the private part of this report first. So I know where I am when we get to the private session. Don't see any from members. So for me then, Nicola, I just wanted to say that prior to bringing this report forward, we as a council undertook a great deal of work, including extensive engagement with the communities that were to be affected so that they could understand the issues connected to the development and the potential options available to us as a council, as you have already outlined. In doing so, we have also considered external professional advice to ensure that the report that we are considering today is the most appropriate course of action. I do want to pay tribute to both local members who have declared an interest. They've been very active in their communities to do extensive work to explain and get the communities themselves to understand the complexities that have been outlined in this report today and the consequences of not bringing this forward today. I just want to reiterate that and pay tribute to those local members who have left this meeting. So unless there's further comments from other members, I would like to say the report is now on page 533 to 558 and is here for a decision. I now refer members to the recommendation on 534 of your agenda pack, and I'm happy to propose the recommendation this afternoon. Can I have a seconder, please?
Dwi'n fel chi, I'm pleased to say.
Thank you, Alan. Any abstentions from members? I don't see any. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary, Leader, and confirm the recommendation has been approved.
Thank you, Nadine. Can you ask Councillor Hurley to come back? Thank you. Yep. You're doing him, are you? Tommy? Or didn't he?
No, that was it.
All right, okay. Okay, then if I move on to agenda item 15, those are the urgent items. I received one urgent item which will be dealt with during private session this afternoon. Agenda item 16 is access to meetings. So the access to meetings report is on pages 559 to 564 of your report packs. I now propose that we move into private session. Could I have a seconder, please?
Pleased to say.
Thank you, Alan. Any abstentions from members? See any? Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are now in favour of moving into private session.
I see no indication to the contrary, Leader, so we're now in private session. I'll just stop the recording. And members of the